So this gameplay we have today is of Trif Gaming on Cool Tune against Mitsurugi here. I watched a little bit of this gameplay before I decided to review it, lesson learned from the other videos. And I thought this game was actually kind of crazy and pretty cool at showcasing some things that aren't traditionally done with Cool Tune. So let's go to go over it and let's see. We're going to start with normal summon Aramasa instead of Habakiri, which is totally fine. Our hand's pretty insane here because we have called by like Droll to back our things up with, especially with 2 lines of play. And we're only up against really an Ash Blossom because this Harmonia is just not that great against Mitsurugi. So, showcasing Trif's point of being a hater of Harmonia here, but he is playing it, which is, classic Trif. We're going to go ahead and use Habakiri. Go ahead and activate Saji. Get hit with Ash Blossom. And here comes Call by the Grave. Go ahead and sort of summon from our hand. Sending Kusanagi and Aramasa. Yeah. Oh, another reason why I wanted to show off this gameplay, by the way, is because I think on my tier list, or I know on my tier list, I put this, as tier 1. Like, dude, this deck is still like super solid into all the interactions, especially showcasing here how like a card that everyone is playing, for example, like Harmonia, doesn't even do like anything to your deck. Kusanagi will add back Ritual, then we'll go ahead and special summon Futsu from our deck. Not using the Murakumo here to play around Nibiru, which is pretty heads up. Now, what's actually funny here is usually our end board piece with Mitsurugi is IP Masquerena, but we definitely don't want to make that, especially since in the formats that play Harmonia. So let's see if he actually just ends on a different end piece, because I even think like just making a rank 4 is like a lot better to try to draw into non-engine versus try to make like an IP in passing when Harmonia is in the format. So here we're going to go ahead and use all of our effects to go ahead and search the trap card. We instantly lose to Nib here, but just going to make the read that Nib isn't in the format, which typically I think a lot of people would say like he's doing a bad play because he's playing very hard into Nib. However, I think the format, depending on the format, you actually need to consider if you should play into it or not. And this is one of those formats where I would not expect a Nib in the main deck at all. So being able to like piece up your end board even better while it does play into Nib is great recognition of you just knowing the format, right? Next we'll go Dugaris. Trif's going to chain Harmonia. We're going to chain Murakumo. Now we can do this funny interaction where we send itself. And that works too, similar to how like you send Nibiru and then just tribute or just discard the Nibiru itself, because it doesn't really negate the effect, which is something that is pretty cool and good to know if you're playing against Mitsurugi. We're going to go ahead and send Purification. Purification effect to bring back the Futsu. And sending Murakumo. That's fine, I guess. I'm very surprised we actually got rid of the trap. So we do end on IP, which earlier I said was probably not fine because it plays into Harmonia, which he had. But now that the Harmonia is out of the way, I think making this IP is perfectly good for an end board piece. We're gonna set 3 cards to our back row, 2 of them being bluffs. Pretty funny. We're gonna go ahead and activate JJKT. Really good to always start with this JJ because you can't decide whether you want to use your JJ additional summon or your regular summon first, or like in which order. So I always recommend people, if they ever draw JJ, just to activate and use it immediately, because you want to be able to use that additional summon. Now if you could decide when to use it or not, that's a lot different. Next we'll make IP will send the Futsu. We'll make Dynamundo. This play is super suspect, but it does work, I guess. I'm not sure if I would actually do this. Now the reason why I wouldn't do it is because Ghost Spell is really popular in this format. Not even as a Cool Tune player, but as any deck. Like, that card's just really popular. And like here, sure, you get rid of JJ, which isn't even like threatening anything. Like IP Futsu and all that is like totally fine into a card like JJ. There's no reason to use Dynamundo on a JJ, because if they bell you here, you just like lose, I guess. I mean, you have Droll and you have Droplet, so maybe you can survive, but like with any decent, strong engine hand, they can end on at least something. So this is really suspect because like it'd be different if Dynamundo was getting rid of a problem card, but I wouldn't call JJ Cooltoon a immediate problem. So we're using Dynamundo to put back JJ. Now we have Rotary and Cooltoon Q. We're gonna summon the Rotary here. Go ahead and use Dynamundo to bring back Murakumo. Murakumo is gonna wipe. Next, we're gonna go ahead and use Cooltoon Q. Get hit with Forbidden Droplet, and that should be the game. We draw a return. We couldn't draw because of the Dugaras, but we do have follow-up, which should be Wraps here. We get Wozo, and then we can trigger Murakumo, and this should be game. Wozo does say hand only. Good catch by attributing one reptile from your hand. So this is on field. So let's see what happens here. Now this comes down to if he plays a second mirror, he can flip up this pre-prep, but he doesn't. Okay, go ahead and go for an attack here. So, which is actually kind of crazy because if Trif is manages to draw a, I think specifically has to be Q. The reason is he has to pay cost for 1 for Murakumo, and then number 2 he needs to beat Drone Lockbird, so it can't be Rico. And yeah, he doesn't draw it. Oh yeah, draws Harmonia. Opening hands, we have Fua and Droll, which usually I would say these conflict, but these are really good in this situation because his hand is so insane. So as long as Trif is able to make a half board, this should be Wraps. But let's see what he has. He has a Thrust, Double Thrust, a KTS, a JJ, and an Ash Blossom. This would be pretty interesting depending on how he plays it and how many targets he has with Thrust. So he's going to go draw phase KTS. That's pretty obvious. Go ahead and search Q. I think another line is you could enter main phase and then activate it because you have our Thrust. But the thing is, like, you can't even grab talents because they don't have a monster. So this is fine. Activate JJ, normal summon Q, activate effect, get hit with a Fua. We're going to have an end chain Ash Blossom because we can always get it back. Here we're going to get hit with a Lockbird, which is pretty heads up here to search a mix. What I see a lot of people do here is they search Rotary because they can Rotary and then make Track Maker with the 4s, with the 3 and a 4 or 3 and a 1. And then the way they get into mix is use JJ. But if you do that, then you play so much harder into a draw. But I'm not sure how much it matters that much because let's say he searches Rotary and then he gets drolled, which is a worse search, right? In theory, we can go Rotary and Q into Maker and then look hand. We can't add because of draw, but we can look hand still with Rotary, Q to change the top deck so we have perfect information. And then we can just sack off the Rico into mix, and then the mix could add back the Rico or the Q, or whichever we so choose. And then after that, we can still make remix. So it like low-key does play around it, but I do think this play is totally fine too. So we get hit with Lockbird. We're going to use the effect here to summon out Rotary. This is really good because we want our mix to be able to grab a target, right? And not just burn effects. Here we're going to do the modulations. Next we'll normal summon mix here. Now I'm pretty sure with this, from what we're seeing here, it's going to really come down to what this thrust can set. It's going to need a good one because with just engine itself, this is so powerful. Next up, I'm going to get Eradicator, which is actually really funny because I don't even think it's that good here. Funny enough, just because his hand is so crazy. So I'm actually curious how this plays out. So we do have a play to add Ash Blossom back with Remix, but we have a lot of chainables here, so we're definitely just going to hold this remix here, but it really kind of depends how our Mitsu player plays it out. So we're going to use remix immediately here. We're probably going to go ahead and activate our effects, but we choose not to, which isn't the worst play in the world. And I say that because if you have prayers and you have Habakiri, then Ash Blossom isn't really like the strongest. Next up, we'll use Habakiri. Then we'll chain Clip to make RS. And send Aramasa. Aramasa will activate, and we go ahead and use Ash Blossom. Next, we'll activate Mitsurugi Ritual, and we'll chain RS. Next up, we'll use Prayers, and Prayers will add Kusanagi. And bring back Aramasa, we just used already. But we'll be able to trigger our effects here, and we can't add a spell, which is kind of funny. So we decided to add Woso instead. We do have our normal summon, but we're going to use it for this Kusanagi here. But this doesn't really advance our game state. This does beat Eradicator, which is, I think, is pretty cool. But like I said, like this just is going to be it because we don't have a way to ritual again, right? So we're going to go ahead and set Prayers, which is not a winning play, especially since we have Trackmaker and JJ on field. But I think from his perspective, he's kind of hoping that this Droll can survive through the next turn. And then he can flip end phase, or not end phase, but he'll be under Droll, but he gets to use all his Prayers cards in the win next turn. So really relying on this Droll to bank him out of it, which is totally fair because he had to play very weird due to the Eradicator. Trif draws talents return, which is going to be really crazy towards this Droll. Not that crazy, but I think he'll be able to OTK a lot faster. So he goes here and does the draw phase Prayers immediately. So I guess his logic is that he wants to get all his searches out of the way before he activates his Droll and Lockbird, which I think is fine. Considering that he doesn't know about these tactic cards. Next up, we'll flip Thrust and get Overtake. Here, he's going to activate Droll and Lockbird. Now, here is pretty cool. A lot of people, when they add Overtake, just get stunned when they get Drolled. But Overtake can also special summon from the graveyard, which is like crazy. So next, we're going to use Overtake to bring back Mix. And yeah, if everything's in rotation already and you're using a turn 2 Droll, it ain't going to help. I think that's how it is with modern Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays, right? Like anytime you're drawing Droll after turn 1, it's like the worst card in your deck. It's either the best card turn 0 or the worst card anytime after that. So we're going to start with the draw phase Aramasa into Saji, which is really, really good at playing through hand traps, especially things like Droll and Lockbird. We do have a Fissure here, which I think is fine to use Prayers first because you beat Droll in the draw phase anyway, so no reason to use Shifter then. Might as well keep some of our resources in graveyard. We're going to get a double search here and go for Merkumo and go for a Ritual, which is a totally fine play here. It's a little bit, it's bad into Impulse, but since we know we're not playing an Impulse deck, we can definitely do that. Next, we'll use Ritual to summon out Merkumo. We'll send Kusanagi and Aramasa to add back our Ritual. This is fine. Next, we'll activate the Ritual. Not playing around Nib at all, but like we said, in Cool Tune, that's not something that you probably should be worrying about because it's not that popular. Next, he tributes Murakumo, and then he gets hit with Ghost Spell, which is totally fine. Next up, we'll use Mitsurugi Mirror, trigger the Futsu, get Purification. This is fine, yeah. Mix Dynamondo. I'm wondering why he makes Dynamundo. I mean, you can make IP because it isn't really doing anything, and I guess he wants a Murakumo at his own will, which, okay, I guess that's fine. Activate Defissure and activate Purification, so kind of a god setup here. Not really a god setup. I'm pretty much saying it's a god setup due to one card only, and it's Fissure. But if we can opt to Fissure and then play, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Next up, we'll draw Pot of Prosperity, enter the main phase, and activate Prosperity. Now we know we're playing against a Purification, so we have to find a way to bait out him using interaction here. If we're able to hit something that can force him to use the trap, he's most likely just going to use his Futsu, which I think a pretty cool outplay is, I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit, is we'll hit 6 here. Revealing a bunch of engine, bell, and an illusion gate. This is really interesting here because we get illusion gate, right? And here, what's actually really funny is clearly we're kind of using this to hope that he's going to trigger some monster effects here, and we did see Thrust game 1. And using the trap card is fine here, but I'm wondering if there's a play where you just don't even activate this Futsu, because it's kind of telling that you want to get thrusted, right? Because you made this Dynamundo here for a reason, so that you contribute out for Ame. And here, like, you really just want to play this fissure control and then just Ame whenever, like, essentially whenever you want, because everything's going to get banished, so they have to play really weird anyway. But by using an effect here, I think you're pretty much playing into the only out that you can lose to. Because, I mean, really, just think about it, right? Like, you know, Dynamundo getting Ame at any time you want while they're playing under Fissure, that's a pretty tough ass to beat. But he does declare Futsu, which, you know, is fine, right? But we're gonna pay a heavy price for our effects here. And then this can actually I mean, honestly, all you have to do is search either something that outs Fissure or something that beats Dynamundo, because then you can play a little bit under the Fissure. Next up, we'll get Thrust. And the rest will get another Illusion Gate. Now, Illusion Gate says you can only apply this effect once per duel, but since it was never applied, he can use it again, which is one of the weirder wordings of the game, because usually things are like, oh, you can activate this card once per turn, but this doesn't say that. It just says apply once per duel. Very strange. We're going to use Dynamundo here to get back Murukuma. Everything gets banished, and we do get back a JJ Cool Tune. Now, to keep in mind, Trif is under Prosperity, but let's see what he does here. Okay, so he goes ahead and uses additional summon on a Rotary. Activate effect to get rid of the Rotary, and we're going to go ahead and summon Mix here, which is totally fine. We're going to go ahead and search Q. We still have our regular summon, so here comes our regular summon of Q. Q will go ahead and get Rico. So I'm thinking what I would probably do here. Now, in this situation, I don't think OTKing is possible. Now, I don't know, you know, if you can do it, you know, under Prosperity. But I think one thing is for sure is I definitely want to set up something with Zaylin and getting rid of this Fissure, right? Because on the following turn, I'm going to be able to stack his top deck. And as long as I can just get him off like a body, he can't use Purification, I can just negate this Prayers, I should be fine. So a way to do that is definitely, because you have this Bell in Graveyard, you can probably do something with like RS on this Fissure, and then pop the Fissure. And all you really have to do is try to end on a Zaylin, and that can deal with a lot of things. We're going to go ahead and use Rico to add Rotary here. We're going to make RS with these two, which is fine. Yep. And then we're going to go ahead and use RS, banishing the belt on the Fissure, which is good. Next up, we're going to use Q and Rotary, which we haven't activated their effects yet, which is really nice. Going to get all our triggers here. This is going to be really interesting because now we're going to be able to see the Retaliating Sea. So probably not the wise decision here to use KTS when we know that there is Retaliating. We're going to put Retaliating Sea on top, and I think this should be checkmate anyway, because no matter what you really do here, as long as you pop this DeFi, you just have to RS this Prayers, and like, what are they going to do? They have double Retaliating Sea. Like, they can make Typhon, but that's not a winning play. And then we're going to have follow-up after that. So at this point, as long as you just pop this and end on Zaylin, you should be fine. Yeah, end on Zaylin, pop this. Go KTS. He can't Retaliating Sea because he'll just Zaylin. he does it anyway, which, I mean, he knows his hand just negate it. I mean, it's not like he can do anything else, right? Like, just maybe hope he forgets that he can Zalen it. Search, mix, activate another KTS. Now he does have an additional summon with Rotary. But this, I don't think we'll do much. So he's gonna think here for a second. He's gonna go mix and Kusa into Malong, which is kind of funny. I'm gonna use its second effect here, which is fucking insane. This line is crazy. He just went and mix and a 4 into Malong and to reduce its level. Okay, so this is B2B. But keep in mind the B2B is still not enough, which is, you know, prosperity. Attack, attack, attack. It's gonna leave us with nothing. So this is pretty obvious. He's drawing Retaliating Thief Return, and he has a Prayers in hand. Now, if he has a Typhon, he's in a... He doesn't win, but, like, you know, he can at least out it. But if he doesn't have Typhon, it's just game over. One Prayers is definitely not beating all of this. You don't have Murakumo in rotation due to the thing. Now, you see, this is pretty interesting here. Now, obviously, if Murakumo was still in graveyard, then Trif would do a different line. Because he kind of uses Dynamundo for no reason, just to put the Murakumo in the banish zone. Because if it was in the grave here, he can just activate Murakumo, and B2B can't activate yet because it only activates on a monster. And then you can Murakumo wipe his field. But at the same time, I don't think that even matters, right? Because if they go Prayers, summon Murakumo Chainlink 1, they'll just B2B Chainlink 2, then Zalen Chainlink 3 to negate Murakumo. So it's kind of checkmate here no matter what he does. So we'll go ahead and fast forward here. Normal summon Retaliating, so you use Mitsurugi Prayers to bring this back, activate this, and we have Zalen. The Prayers doesn't really matter here because we're negating the effect. It's not targeting. Next we'll get that, then we'll go B2B and negate this, and then we don't have a target for Wozo, and that should be checkmate. So that'll be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I thought this replay was pretty insane, especially through Dimensional Fissure and Illusion Gate and using Malong's like actual real effects. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I'll see y'all in the next one.